Assalamu alaikum, and thank you again for tuning in to this YouTube channel. In this video, I want to discuss a common question. What is the Quran? This is a question that people often ask themselves in subtle ways, but don't voice out loud. One of the reasons that it's not often voiced out loud is that many people approach the Quran thinking that they already know what it is. And Muslims have their reasons for thinking that. Many non-Muslims have their reasons for thinking that. Nonetheless, people often ask themselves this question in subtle ways. Muslims do it as they develop a relationship with the Quran throughout their life and, inshallah, come to a deeper understanding of it. Non-Muslims often approach the Quran with an interest into the origins of the text and to find out something regarding its essential teachings. Whatever walk of life one may come from, whatever one's background, this question is being asked more and more today as the Quran becomes a more public document and a more debated document. Whatever background one comes from, people bring many different presuppositions into how they answer this question. So what I want to do in this video is look at what the Quran says about itself in order to answer some of these questions. Now, this won't be an answer that will satisfy everybody, but it will offer a place from which the discussion can begin. Now, unlike the books of the Old Testament and the New Testament, the Quran talks extensively about itself. Some 30 surahs or chapters of the Quran begin with a discussion of the book or of the nature of revelation. And then there are hundreds of other verses throughout the Quran that talk about the origins of the Quran, its descending on Laylatul Qadr, which talk about the teachings of the Quran, which talk about the relationship of the Quran with previous scriptures, and the way in which one should recite the Quran, and the nature of its guidance that it provides, and even the healing that the Quran is supposed to provide for human beings. Jalaluddin as-Suyuti, considered one of the greatest scholars of the Quran, in his book Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, he provides a list of 46 different titles that the Quran gives itself. It refers to itself as Al-Kitab over 100 times, that is, the book. And Daniel Madigan, a colleague and friend of mine, has written a book on how the Quran creates this self-image for itself, much around this particular term, Al-Kitab. The Quran also uses the word Quran some 60 times in it. It also refers to itself as Kitab Mubin, that is, a clear book. Refers to itself as Nur Mubin, that is, a clear light. And Al-Kitab Al-Hakim, that is the wise book. So there are other phrases that are debated whether they refer to the Quran or not, such as An-Naba Al-Azim, that is the great tiding. These and other titles show how much the Quran is constantly talking about itself and what it does for the reader or listener. The very first verses of the second surah, that is the surah right after the Fatiha, the opening surah, begin Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. That is Alif Lam Mim. These are, or this is the book in which there is no doubt, a guidance for the reverent who believe in the unseen, who perform the prayer, and who pay from that which we have given them. And then it goes on to say, those who believe in what we have sent down unto you, and in what we have sent down unto those before you, or have sent down before you, as an allusion to previous scriptures. Likewise, there are many surahs that begin in this way. For example, Surah 27, An-Naml, it begins, these are the signs of the Quran. تِلْكَ آيَاتِ الْقُرْآنِ وَكِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. These are the signs of the Quran and a clear book. هُدًى وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. A guidance and glad tiding for the believers. الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ. Who give alms, who pray or establish the prayer and give alms. وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. And who are certain of the hereafter. Such passages illustrate a prominent feature of the Quran. It is a book that wants to make sure that the reader or listener knows what it is, knows where it comes from, knows how to read it, knows how to contemplate it, knows how to better understand it and derive benefit from it. In order to encourage deeper contemplation of the Quran, Surah 47, verse 24 asks, do they not contemplate the Quran, or do hearts have their locks upon them? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. One of the main features of the Quran is the contention that it is a revelation, and thus that it is a book that is not authored by a human being, and that it could not be authored by a human being. Thus, Surah 2, verse 252 states, these are the signs of God that we recite to you in truth. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ نَتْلُوهَا عَلَيْكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And truly, you are among the messengers. Likewise, Surah 4, verse 82 states, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ لَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Do they not contemplate the Quran? If it was from other than God, they would surely find much discrepancy therein. Given that the Quran presents itself as coming from God and as being beyond the capabilities of something that a human being could create, it challenges the reader or listener to create something similar to it. There are about 4 verses that are known as the challenge verses of the Quran. One of these is Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, verse 23, which states, and if you are in doubt concerning what we have sent down to our servant, then bring a surah like it, and invoke your helpers besides God, or وَضْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُمْ, your witnesses, مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ, if you are indeed truthful. Elsewhere, the Quran states that given that this is the speech of God, that were the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to insert something into the text and claim it to be from God, that God would take him to account for this. This is in Surah Al-Haqqa, Surah 69 of the Quran, at the end, when it states, لا أقسم بما تبصرون وما لا تبصرون. I swear by that which you see and that which you do not see. إنه لقول رسول كريم. Verily, it is the speech of a noble messenger. ولا بقول شاعر. Not the speech of a poet. قليلا ما تؤمنون. Little do you believe. ولا بقول كاهن. Nor the speech of a sorcerer. قليلا ما تذكرون. Little do you reflect. تنزيل من رب العالمين. A revelation or a descent from the Lord of the worlds. And now this is where it starts to say what would happen if you insert something. وَلَوْ تَقَوَّلَ عَلَيْنَا بَعْضَ الْأَقَاوِيلِ لَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُ بِالْيَمِينِ ثُمَّ لَقَطَعْنَا مِنْهُ الْوَتِينَ فَمَا مِنْكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ عَنْهُ حَاجِزِينَ وَإِنَّهُ لَتَذْكِرَةٌ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. There it is, And were he, لو تقول علينا بعض الأقاويل, were he to attribute words to us, we would take him by the right hand, then we would sever his life vein, and none of you would be able to do anything about it. Truly, it is a remembrance, tadhkiratan, for those who are reverent. These and other verses indicate the sense of awe that the Quran seeks to instill in its audience, maintaining that it is an inimitable and transcendent revelation. Perhaps the best illustration of the awesome power that the Quran ascribes to itself is found in Surah 59, verse 21, which states in the famous verse of the Quran, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. Had we made this Quran descend upon a mountain, you would have seen it khashi and fearful, crumbling out of awe of God. And these are the parables that we set forth for mankind, that they may reflect. Thank you again for joining in. Now in the next video, what I want to do is build upon this discussion of the Quran's discussion of its own nature to talk about some of the other functions the Quran attributes to itself. Talk about first and foremost, well not foremost, but also its relationship with previous scriptures, specifically the Torah and the Psalms and the Gospel given to Jesus, alayhi salam. And then talk about some of the functions that the Quran specifically gives itself, such as guiding, expounding, and healing. If you would like to get a notification of that video, just subscribe or comment below, and please tell me what else you would like to hear about. Thanks again. Take care.